The demise of the Kansas City Chiefs is just the funnest thing I think I have ever watched, and they are blundering it when it comes to their salary cap. They are making a move right now that makes George Paton look like the smartest man in the room for a move that he made this time last offseason. We have Patrick Surtain getting a massive chip on his shoulder that I cannot wait to see come to fruition on week number 5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. That and way more in this video. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben. Helps me in the YouTube algorithm out a ton. If you like the Broncos, would you smash that like and subscribe button? We know the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line was not good last season, that in the Super Bowl when they lost, which was a thrilling thing to watch, Patrick Mahomes was sacked 6 times when the Philadelphia Eagles brought a 4-man pressure. That means their 5 offensive linemen could not block 4 guys. One of their best offensive linemen was Joe Thuney, the left guard. They let him walk for nothing and don't have an adequate replacement. Their other right guard, who's not even in the conversation with a Quinn Meinerz, is asking for a new deal. He is currently on the franchise tag. It is now looking like the Chiefs are about to make him the highest paid guard in all of football, which is an absolute joke. We're going to look at the PFF grades here in just a second. They have until July 15th to give him that new deal, but it is looking like he will be the highest paid guard in football, which is absolutely crazy here. If you take a look at the highest paid guard in football, it's currently Dickerson, who gets about $20 million a year, which means that this new deal for Trey Harris would be even above that. You got to come all the way down here to number 7, where you see the actual best guard in football, Quinn Meinerz, weighing in at number 7. So that is incredible that you're talking about paying him $5 million more a year than a guy who is absolutely better than him. This is what happens when you are going out and you're making your deals ahead of time, that we were out in front of that. We see the exact same thing happen here with Patrick Surtain, that like he's the best cornerback in football, and yet he's 4th on this list because we were out in front of it and we did not wait and become reactionary when really you get put between a rock and a hard place. I want all of our players to get paid what they're worth, but when you can sign them ahead of time and give them that hometown discount and get incredible value out of it, it is absolutely incredible. So this is adding to the Chiefs' huge problem where they use up the bulk of their cap space on just a few guys. And we know that in the NFL, you need 53 guys on your team who can contribute to winning. And so when all of your money is going into just a few aging guys, this is where we start to see the fall of Rome, you guys, that they are falling apart. And this is just getting worse as you are now overpaying someone who does not deserve that. So let's just look at it by the numbers, that his PFF score last year and every single year of his career has actually been under the PFF score of the guy that they let just walk. And so you see, Trey Smith had a 78 overall PFF score. Joe Thuney had a 79, almost an 80 PFF score. That is the guy that they probably should have given that major money to. He's the better guard. And you are now about to make this guy the highest paid guard in football, when truly, who should it be? It should be Quinn Meinerz. Like Quinn Meinerz, not only, you look here at his PFF score of 88.2, absolutely wild, one of the best offensive linemen in football, not just the best guards. So this here is the all-pro team that we see. This is voted on by players and, actual people who know what they're doing, not just people in their mom's basement making videos for YouTube. I'm not in my mom's basement, just my basement. And you look here, Quinn Meinerz, first team all-pro offensive guard. He is the 7th highest paid guard in football. That is George Paton being out in front of it, not being reactionary, and kind of being really stuck between a rock and a hard place. So I love that. And that is why when it comes to these upcoming deals that we have with Cortland Sutton and Nick Bonito and Zach Allen and John Franklin Myers, and we're all freaking out, like what's going to happen here? We just got to trust, because he has shown us with Pat Surtain, he's shown us with Quinn Meinerz that he is going to make the best decision, and it's going to age like a fine cheese, that we're going to look back on whatever he makes that decision and be like, man, look he won again, because that is what George Paton continues to do. Speaking of George Paton and what he continues to do, we see that the GM of the Chicago Bears just got a mega extension, and he's going to be with the Chicago Bears until 2029. We're getting to that point right now where George Paton is up for a similar type deal. So when it comes to, like, is that maybe what's holding up some of these negotiations, is that he is negotiating for an extension as well? If I was the Walton Penner ownership group, that would be a guy that I absolutely sign a deal with. I think when you take a look at what the Bears have done, they had all of this draft capital, and they ended up getting a worse quarterback than we got with number 12. And they'd really traded the farm for that. And they drastically underperformed last year. They hired the wrong head coach, and they had to scramble, and they took a flyer on Ben Johnson. And I think that we're going to see that over these next 5 years, Bo Nix is going to be a better quarterback than Caleb Williams. Sean Payton, definitely a better coach than you're going to have in Ben Johnson. I would not be surprised when it comes to Ben Johnson if he ends up being like a Mike McDaniels or a Josh McDaniels, where they're like that shiny new offensive genius, but they don't have the ability to lead a group of men like we see with a Sean Payton. And so if you're seeing Poles get this extension, I definitely would say, man, run to sign an offer with George Paton and make him the highest paid general manager in football, because you definitely have the money with the ownership group, and you should do that. Other thing interesting that just kind of broke is yesterday we talked about how there's that wide receiver camp, and all of the wide receivers were scheming together about how on earth do you even beat Pat Surtain? He's the best corner in football, and you have like 5 guys on screen, Ocho Cinco, I think Jerry Jeudy was in there, and they're all like, man, you can't beat him. No one can scheme up against him. Well, Jamar Chase went on a podcast, and he dropped his top 5 corners in football, and he did not name Patrick Surtain, which I think is absolutely something that, as Pat was scrolling Twitter yesterday, I'm sure he was like, oh, this is cool. They're all trying to figure out how to beat me. And I'm sure he was feeling his oats and excited about that. And I think this is the kind of thing that is great news for him, because that is a chip on his shoulder. Like, hey man, you are coming to Denver at altitude, week number 5. I'm going to run you into the ground. The last time I played you, a great point here, that the last time he played Jamar Chase had 45 yards receiving on him. And that was in 5 quarters. Remember, that was the game that we probably should have gone for 2 after Marvin Mims scored that touchdown to send us into overtime. But instead, we went 5 quarters, and he had multiple possessions. So in 5 quarters, you had 45 yards on the best corner in football, and yet you have the audacity to come out and not even name him in your top 5. I think that is blasphemous, and I think Pat Surtain is going to make him rethink that as he comes to Denver in week number 5. So let me know how you feel about that. When it comes to really just training camp, just a few days away, we got rookies reporting on Wednesday, and the thing we are really keeping our ear to the ground on is what is going to happen with Jahdae Barron and RJ Harvey, because if they do not have a deal by then, they will not be attending. Adam Schefter was just kind of pointing out the fact that you have a Chargers camp starting today, and I believe the Lions camp starting today. They both play the first preseason game, which is this month, July 31st, so football's right around the corner. And most of the second round players in the NFL have not signed a deal yet, because there are a couple teams that gave guaranteed money and guaranteed contracts to their second round picks. So now all of the second round picks are like, well, hey, if they're given guaranteed money, we deserve it too. And so that has really thrown a wrench into things. And you just really hope that, man, especially because we're talking RJ Harvey with that pick, and we want to see him hitting the ground, actually running. And so I hope that you start to see a bunch of second round signings happen at least by Wednesday when our rookies report, because we would love to see some footage of him. And obviously, like, man, my hope is that he is RB number 1, in which case you better sign him and get him running behind the best offensive line in football, which is a cold, hard fact. Almost done exporting the Marvin Mims video. It drops tomorrow. We're dropping that at 1 p.m. Eastern, or 1 p.m. Colorado time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you do not miss out, because Broncos country, we got so much to believe in. Oh, dude, that one was halfway down and hit the ceiling.